Hey everyone, Aaron McDowell here with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to show you open hand techniques. Now, I have actually mentioned in the past that when we start out doing martial arts or doing any kind of fighting, we're always like this, nice and strong, ready to go, rubber bones. And as we get older, our hands get a lot more brittle, a lot more weaker. I mean, that's part about getting old. That we don't tend to actually function very well, and sometimes we're having trouble even trying to close our hands because we basically fought with our hands, we train with our hands. That's part of life. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little bit of open hand techniques, and it will show you a little bit how they actually work with open hand techniques versus the closed fists. So, and now I just want to clarify that when it comes to open hand techniques, remember, in Tang Soo Do, it's the way of the China hand or open hand way. That means you're working with both closed hand and open hand. Ergo, open hand techniques. So, so when we start with open hand, we always start off with the knife hand strike. Now, the knife hand strike basically has got to be shaped almost like a knife. So basically, when you look at it, you're basically curling your hand up with your fingers into a very nice, real strong hand, all the way to a very tight. Because a lot of people, when they think about knife hand, they think like karate chop or judo chop. No. That's really, besides being offensive, that's also propaganda. So when you do a knife hand strike, you basically are tightening up your entire hand. And when you hit, you're hitting with the meat part of your hand. That's why when most people, when you say you can actually kill someone with a karate chop, maybe that's only if you hit like the carotid artery. You're not exactly killing anyone. You're basically just knock them out. Because once you knock that wind out, then you can't really breathe too well. So, pew! It's almost similar to say, it's just the same way when you're hitting someone with a punch. Then once you hit it, they're done. They're gone. But you got to get a lot of momentum to actually do it. Same thing with a knife hand strike. Boom. Boom. Doesn't matter which direction. It's got to be nice and boom. 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 Got to be nice and firm and strike and fluid. With open hand, you like to think it more like a whip, a fluid whip. With a punch, that's a rock. With an open hand, that's a whip. Gotta be nice and fluid. So that's why with a knife hand, like I said, you're curling your hands up, the thumb is tight inside your hand, and your hands are basically, because you're going to be hitting something hard with it. Whether it be in someone's throat or even the eyes or the nose. Try not to hit the mouth. That's a great way that's a better way to get a bite mark. So not only do you got a bite mark on your hand, now you got bacteria or you got the virus on your hands. So always very clearly, when it comes to hitting the face, don't ever try to hit in the mouth. You hit the mouth, someone calls some blood on you, you're infected with something. So that's just pure logic. The next hand I got is the rich hand. And basically all it is just the knife hand in reverse. The only thing is that when you strike, you basically curl your hand up and you're striking with the meat part of your hand like this. So let me get the target in. So, first let me demonstrate with a knife hand. Knife hand can go either direction. It can go from the side, but when you gotta get a nice good stance. When you get a nice good stance, pull first, all the way through. Now remember, you're hitting with this part of your hand. If your hand's open like this, with 4 fingers out, you're going to break your fingers. So that's why whenever you attack, back fan like this, make sure that the meat part of the hand. You either step with it, or basically momentum with the hips. Not just there like, oh, that's Frankenstein hand. When you come from the side, the same way. This is a little more of this is where the whip comes in. So let me get over here. So this is more the whip version. There's not much movement. So if I try to get more and put more step into it, now of course it's not much water in there, so you kind of get the idea. It's all about all the way through. So that is the knife hand. The reach hand, like I said, this meat part of the thumb, not the thumb itself. You have the thumb out, you're going to break your thumb. So reach hand. Do it from this route. Go right here. And the thing is, remember, all in the hips. And the thing is, if you do just the arm, you're going to have a whiplash in your elbow. So you want to make sure you go all the way through. Because if you do it wrong, you're going to have a very big bruise. For my black belt testing, I didn't step all the way through. So what happened, I broke the board, but I had a very big bruise on my hand. So it took a few hours for it actually to heal. I still broke the board. That's the best thing about board breaking in black belt. I don't suggest board breaking. You're not, just like Bruce Lee said, you're not proving yourself for breaking boards. You're proving yourself when you fight. So that is rich hand. So the next one I want to show is the spear hand. A spear hand, almost similar to the knife hand and the rich hand. The only thing is that just like a spear, you're basically, now I need to tell you about my knuckles. So what you're doing, your fingers are all together like this. So just like a spear, like an arrowhead basically. Now what this mostly is for, it's mostly like for distractions. So basically when you're distracting, you're basically distracting someone and then you're coming with a counter. So in Wing Chun, there's a thing called eye flick. In karate, there's the spear hand. It's almost basically like a finger jab. A finger jab would be like open hand, but curled up, a little bit different. Because you got your fingers like this, finger jab. When you come in, it's like this. But the spear hand is like this. So spear hand. Basically like a jab. Like I said, mostly for distractions. Mostly up in the eyes. And just like in Karate Kid Part 3, if a man can't see, he can't fight. You're basically taking his eyes away from him by using the finger jab or the eye poke or whatever, a spear hand, whoever calls it whatnot, it's basically a finger jab or anything like that. It's basically a distraction so you can come in with a counter like that. So that is the spear hand. The last but not least one, and these are basically basic open hand techniques. The last one is the palm heel. Now, there are two different versions of this. There's basically, your thumb is curled on the outside, but you're still, and your fingers are curled down, almost similar to a knife hand. But you're still hitting with the meat part of your hand, not the top part. If you do that, you're just going to break your fingers. Remember, protect the fingers, okay? Protect the fingers. So with an open hand, basically like that, you're going to just want to push someone away. But if you really want the power a lot more, you go curl up your hands like this. Almost like a monkey's paw, like this. Real nice and curly. So when you go with the power, and this is really good, especially for the face. Because if you hit the nose, you'll break the nose, You'll break the nose and make it bleed so badly. So therefore, if a man can't breathe from his nose, he can't fight. He'll have blood coming all the way down. Now, when it comes to any of these techniques, I do not condone assaults. I condone self-defense. So therefore, ladies, you all know how to do this technique. You all been trained how to do these techniques in self-defense. All I gotta do is just curl that elbow up and driving the man's nose. But remember, when it comes to self-defense, it's all about the last resort. You talk it over first. If nothing happens, you walk away. And then if it's going to want to go on and you're back in the corner, that's when self-defense is actually necessary. The only reason why I say this, because in recent years, the palm heel was actually the #1 strike to any man who was actually allegedly assaulted. Now the thing is, with case by case basis, of course, that you can actually still use it as a self-defense weapon technique and still be able to walk away from it, just as simple. But it takes a lot of training and precision and responsibility. Regardless of which technique it is, it takes a lot of responsibility and discipline to know exactly when to use it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video with the open hand techniques. Be sure to comment, subscribe, and share this video. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And this is Al McDowell, signing off.